All right, we are live on YouTube and I will just waiting for it to load. Here we go. Then I gotta mute myself. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna start the webinar and then we can press record. Okay, we can record. Awesome, thank you, Lauren. Welcome, welcome everyone. It's a great day to be alive. We are also live on YouTube. Yes. So I'll just kind of wait for everyone to get in and I'll kind of roll over some things. Thank you for showing up live either on YouTube or on Zoom. And thank you for showing up after and watching the recording. The coaching calls are literally so heartwarming to me because I used to have, sessions every day with clients from all over the world. And I really miss that aspect of interaction. So the coaching calls have a very special place in my heart. If you are brand new to the coaching calls or brand new to the membership, welcome. You are in for some really amazing treats. And if you have been in the membership for a while, thank you so much for your support. You've allowed me to do what I love to do in such a free way. So I really appreciate your participants in this beautiful program. I want to roll over a couple of things. This is being recorded, okay? It's only for the members only, but it is going to be out there. So if you want to participate in today's call, then you can raise your hand in Zoom. If you're watching this in live on YouTube as a member, then you will not be able to be chosen. So Lauren will go over to YouTube and she will post the Zoom link so that if you want to be chosen for a reading, you can come into Zoom and raise your hand. Once again, if you raise your hand, you are giving me permission to basically have you on camera, on video, whatever. So be aware of that. You can also feel free to change your name to whatever you want. Okay, so you can only have your first name if you feel more comfortable with that. I do resonate with names in particular, like there's a vibration behind it. That's how I actually get permission to tune into you. So I do recommend it being a name that you resonate with, but just know that you don't have to have your full name in Zoom either. What else did I want to mention? So basically, in these coaching calls, I will intuitively choose individual people. My greatest intention always is to choose individuals and to choose people intuitively that have a situation going on in their life or their soul that resonates with the group. So I'm really looking for these mirrored situations. And when I set that intention, that's usually what happens, which means that all of us, myself included, really get something from this experience. It's not just an individual thing, which it is, it's more of a group collective dynamic. That being said, if you have been chosen before in a coaching call, please lower your hand. I really want to give everyone an equal opportunity to get chosen for the first time. So please keep that in mind as well. And is there anything else I wanted to say? I highly recommend if you guys are here live, if you're on YouTube or Zoom, chat with each other. This is what the community is all about, is this, safe space to connect. And speaking of safe place to connect, let's all just quiet our minds and do a little breathing exercise to clear our energy. That will help me connect to you, and that will help me just channel in general. And it'll help you clear your mind because it's been a crazy time. So just quieting your mind, taking a deep breath in, holding that breath in, feeling that oxygen move through your entire body, and again, taking a deep breath out. And again, holding that breath and out. And one more time. Taking white light in through your nose and breathing any disharmony, any agitation, any frustration out through your mouth. All right, beautiful. Thank you for being here. We are in the middle of a giant thunderstorm, which I love, but the power company has also warned that there might be power outages. So just warning you guys beforehand, but fingers crossed we are in a protected bubble for the next hour or so. Let's dive right in to and see who needs to come on today. And you don't have to have your video on if you are promoted to a panelist, but I do recommend that you have it on because it really helps me connect with you. One more thing that I wanted to mention before we dive into today is it is never going to be someone who expects it. Let's just say that, okay? There's always this kind of divine message of like, oh my goodness, like you chose me, I didn't expect to be chosen. So if you do have a really intense need to be chosen, I want you to actually work with the energy of dropping that expectation, that need, that attachment, getting into a neutral vibration. And I guarantee you that will draw me to you more than the need or the expectation. And this is a great manifestation exercise. And if you've been watching this month's content for the members only, it's all about manifestation. So let's work on that. Okay, just 1 second. I'm going to go through the list and the names here and see, who needs to come on. So 1 sec. All right. First person I am inviting in. Let's talk about your life. Let's see what's going on. Wendy, come on in, Wendy. Just have to accept it and do 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 do. Wendy, are you there? So the internet's a little slow too, though. There you are. I'm gonna ask to unmute. And if you feel comfortable, turn on your camera, your video as well. Hello.
Sorry about that. I had on my computer.
Wendy, are you there?
Because I was walking around. Okay.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, awesome. Do you feel comfortable putting on your video?
Yes. I have to figure out how to do that.
Okay, let's see. If you can figure it out, great. If not, no big deal.
See me now?
No, I still can't, but
No?
that's totally
Thought I put
totally
it on,
fine.
so let me try this again. My apologies. Okay. Let's
No
see.
worries.
Video.
We can just skip the video. Tell me about your life, what's going on,
I will
what do
try
you
my
need
best
to
to get it.
know?
My apologies. I thought that, but the video's not working.
Yeah, no worries. So what's going on? Wendy?
Okay, it says you cannot start. Host has disabled it.
Oh, okay. Lauren, can you check into the settings for the video, and we can figure that out for next time. But give me a little overview, Wendy. What's happening in your life, or what's a question that you would want to ask?
Okay, I have a few questions, but why is this question for me to ask? Is just to see you for me. I lead a life like from my youth, my family. I could go on about all that. I'm very excited to be alive at this time, even comfortable with it, because I see it as a huge waking up, gentle and amazing. And I think it's inevitable to see it will lead to more and more people waking up. And I know since COVID started, I've seen my past life in 20 and being part of choosing fear. And as soon as COVID happened, I'm here at this time, aware that I'm a galactic being, and I know I'm big and I'm blue, and so I'm not. Plus, I'm so much more lifetimes I'm aware of. So, question, and then should I give you?
Do you have a topic or a specific kind of focus that you're really interested in?
I'm a teacher, so written a children's book and 5D my Joey, and right now I'm working with light and dark, and I have the whole thing that is so relevant, but I recognize that I don't totally understand dark, and so I'm like, am I basically, because like the seed comes out and creation comes out of dark. I think that has to do with our language has like darkness, like lower forces, so use it simultaneously as dark.
Okay.
Use dark as another forces, and also the dark, like the void, where an amazing space to be in.
Okay. Well, let's tune in and let's just see what your spirit guides want you to know at this time.
Okay.
Cool. 1 second, Wendy. Yeah. Okay, great. So the information that came through, I think, is a validation of the work that you're doing right now, specifically around teaching, especially children, about the darkness. And it was so beautiful. So it's very clear that you are a light warrior. That's what I would call you. You have been fighting and exploring and kind of holding space for humanity for pretty much your whole life, and probably any other lifetimes you've had on this planet. But you've been doing this behind the scenes. You've been doing this very secretly, for your own safety and protection. And now moving forward, you're really moving into the light, you could say, but really moving into being seen, which is different for you. And that's going to come about with your book. And I see many books. I don't just see one. But one in particular that comes through, and I'm not sure if this is the one that you're working on or if this is another one that you're going to be doing, but it does look like a book for children. And it is going to be talking a lot about the darkness and how beautiful the darkness is. And like you mentioned as well, all the creation and the beautiful things that come from the darkness. And the information that came through, which makes so much sense, is there are a lot of like spiritually driven children's books that are coming out, which is incredible. But within that realm, there's not a lot of spiritual children's books that are coming out that specifically talk about polarity, light and dark, and especially the dark being a friend, really. And so what's really incredible with that is we were all ingrained at a young age to fear the darkness. And the reason why we were ingrained at a young age to fear the darkness is because as star seeds, as empaths, we've all experienced weird ass shit in the middle of the night when we were kids, because we were just tuned into that realm. And then we go to our parents or an authority figure with this fear, and they say, oh, nothing's going on. The problem with that statement, nothing's going on, or you're just having a bad dream, is if you don't recognize that fear, if you don't recognize that darkness, if you kind of just sweep it under the rug, then it doesn't really exist. And what do we fear the most? The fear of the unknown. And that fear gets perpetuated. If we kind of not expose the darkness, but open up children to the darkness in a very positive and liberating way, then we can transmute that fear at a young age. Like, I really see that book, whether that be the one you're working on or the subsequent ones after, really impacting children and starseed kids. So this is your step into a brand new cycle, both at a spiritual level, at a physical level, at a career level, on so many levels. So I'm sure we will all remember your name, Wendy, and we'll definitely look out for those books later down the line. So thank you so much for your work, and thanks for hopping on and being vulnerable.
Thank you.
All right, I'm just going to clear my energy and tune back in. Okay. I really resonate with like pretty much everyone on this list. So I'm just trying to feel into the most, the loudest ones, let's say. All right. Next up is Andrew. And hopefully we have video working. Come on in, Andrew. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Wasn't quite expecting to be picked by.
Awesome.
Okay,
Wait,
yeah.
can you try and
Can you
put
hear
on
me?
your camera? I don't know if we fixed
Oh, I
that.
think it is on. Oh, try again. Camera. Sorry, I just thought I just literally put it on.
It might not pop up. We might not.
I can see it.
Let's see if I can make you a co-host, and then maybe it'll pop up. Anything?
Oh, no.
No. Okay, no worries. No worries.
Oh, no, never
So
mind.
give me a little overview, Andrew. What's going on in your life?
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, I just had some really good news actually. On Sunday. I got picked for the GB team for triathlon, which is something I've been doing for a very long time.
Okay, wait. There's a lot of static going on. Either you're
Sorry.
moving or something's over the mic. So just,
Okay,
yeah.
is that better?
Much better. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I just had some really good news. I just got picked for the GB team to represent GB for triathlon, and I've been kind of just wondering what to do with that really, and because I seem to have quite a lot of things I'm really good at, and I don't really know which way to go. It's kind of, yeah, I'm not really sure what to do because I'm really scientific as well, and so I just seem to have lots of options, and I just, yeah, I'm not really sure where to turn next.
Okay, and then what team did you just get picked for again? What is that?
Duathlon, so it's a run, bike, run.
Oh, okay, perfect. And then when is that happening?
So that's on the 6th of November.
Okay. Okay, great.
Yeah, so.
Okay, let's tune into your energy. Let's see where you're at, and let's see what kind of advice your spirit guides have. So one second. Hmm. Okay, interesting. So this is actually a really good, it's a really good piece of advice for everyone here as well, because I can really relate to this energy of overwhelm. So a lot of people in society right now are actually feeling stuck because they are repeating the same cycles over and over again, because they're refusing to change and move forward. They're restless, they're anxious because it's all the same every day. There's another section of society, a much smaller section, which is most of the people in this room right now or watching this after, who are at this point in September of 2021 where we've planted a lot of seeds in the past. We have all of these different timelines opening up simultaneously. And it feels like every choice we make in these different timelines will lead us down a different path, which is for sure true. Here's the information that came through for you, Andrew, and for anyone else who feels overwhelmed in the amount of choices and opportunities they have in front of them. You can have it all. You can have it all. You can do it all. You can do your triathlon. You can do your science stuff. You can do your, quantum stuff or your cosmic stuff. You can have it all. And so then my follow-up question to that answer of you can have it all, and that's a message that I've been getting over and over again recently. The follow-up, my question is, but how? Like, how do we have it all? Like, how do we really truly choose all of the things that we love and that we want in such a limited amount of space and time? Of course, the response comes through to say the amount, the perception, the navigation of space and time is changing. It's different. It is no longer a linear aspect, a linear reality of space and time. And so the best way to have it all, the best way to make all of the choices and to really experience life to the fullest is not to choose to do one thing and stick to that one thing for a couple weeks, couple months, couple years, to have that one thing and have another thing and have another aspect all at the same time. And it's funny, we've got to get into a good flow of doing this. It's working at a quantum level. So in one day, you're not just training for the triathlon, but you're doing some quantum research, and you're also writing a book, and you're also, doing your part-time job or whatever it may be. But we have to start working in this way where we're bopping around to all of the different aspects of ourselves. In the past, the old traditional way of working as a human being was, I'm going to spend 10 years working. Then I'm going to spend 5 years with my kids. Then I'm going to spend 10 years dealing with this. And it was one stage after another. There you are, Andrew. Hi.
Sorry
Nice
about
to
that.
see you. Yeah. And so nowadays we are bringing it all together, and we're working with things and on things at a quantum level. And now the kids that are being born these days are able to do things at a quantum level. I mean, they've got ADHD through the roof, and they're able to multitask in that way. I think for the older generations, we have to kind of learn, oh, that was too much, that, this is a good balance. So the answer really is you can have it all. A lot of us are experiencing this overwhelm of, wow, this is a lot of options. And if you get stuck in which way to go, if you love everything that you're doing, do it all. If there are things that make you feel frustrated or stuck or whatever, it's disharmonic frequency, let it go. Only pursue the things that light you up, but know that you don't only have to pursue one thing at a time. This is where we're going with that quantum space and time dynamic. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Good luck on your triathlon.
Thank you.
And how do I, just trying to not make you the host, and now I don't know how to do that. Yep, don't know how to do that. Okay, well, Lauren, if you can try and make him a participant again, that would be great. I'm just going to go ahead and clear my energy. All right. Okay, we are going to bring on Melanie. Come on in. Hello. Hello. Melanie.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Awesome.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I
So
think I can start video.
do you have permission to start your video?
Nope, says unable to.
Okay, so sorry about that. People are just gonna have to deal with my face. That's fine. Melanie, give me a little detail. What's going on in your life? What are the questions that you have?
Okay, there's a lot going on. I'm in Ontario.
Okay.
And right now I kind of feel like I'm in the middle of something, but I'm not really sure what, if that makes sense.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm really up for any kind of guidance or anything that comes through, really.
Yeah, perfect. All right, Melanie, let's take a look here. 1 second. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so immediately when I tap into your energy, I'm being drawn to your sacral chakra. There's a lot of movement going on in your lower abdomen. This may also mean bloating, cramping, indigestion, hip issues, lower back issues, just it's all in that area. Okay. This is your emotional center. And you've been doing a lot of work on this emotional center. I want to say, especially since June, you've been doing work on the center. Now, specifically what it's related to, and I don't know if this has been an issue in your life. I don't know if this is totally not an issue, but it feels like a generational thing and an ancestral thing. And I feel like this ancestral trauma or these ancestral cycles are also directly related to some karmic energy that needs to be cleared from your own past lifetimes. So it's two huge aspects of hurt and trauma that are being healed within you. So the ancestral aspect of it is ending with you. That's not going to be moving forward anymore. And then, of course, the past life karma aspect of it is also ending in this moment. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what this is related to. Like I said, this may totally resonate. This may be totally off the wall for you. But it really feels like it's divine masculine energy. That's what's happening in that sacral chakra. Especially like I felt father energy in childhood. I don't know, like I said, if that's an issue or not. But it feels like this divine, like almost like a toxic masculine energy that has been going on in your family for quite some time. And then also, like I said, in past lifetimes for quite some time, is all bringing closure to right now. And there's something about divine masculine energy that makes you feel unsafe, that instantly closes you off. And I actually see you in this little egg right now, this like egg of protection. And I think that because a lot of this trauma, this suppressed trauma, has just been naturally bubbling up, could be nothing in your life right now that's triggering it, but it's all coming to the surface so that you could heal it. And once it's healed, once again, this is huge stuff. This is why it's like there's a lot of movement going on within you, but you feel like doing nothing externally or physically because you're doing all the work. You're doing so much, but you don't see it. So you don't really know what's happening. There is a date here. It's a very clear date. And the date is actually December. And your spirit guide said that December is a very specific month where potentially maybe traumas have happened before with this issue. And it's this clearing month. For whatever reason, it ends the cycle of you working on it. So basically June 2021 to December 2021 is this really deep cleansing and healing cycle. Then I'm going to tell you what's going to happen after. And I really feel like this is going to resonate with a lot of people just watching this live, who are also dealing with this weird, like maybe like an apathy feeling, a lack of motivation feeling, an exhaustion feeling, emotional feeling without knowing where it's coming from. But I want to tell you what's going to happen after December, after you're really like, you've healed this lower abdominal kind of center. You're going to step into 2022. You are going to feel so much lighter, so much more clear. Like I already, like this, it feels like a huge weight has lifted off of you, but it also feels like you break through your little egg that you've been hiding in. And then I see this kind of like a freak out moment of, holy shit, now what? Because this has always been an aspect of yourself that you've been carrying around from your family, from your ancestry, but also from your past lifetimes. So it's going to feel so liberating and so exciting and so clear and so light, but also so freaking scary because you're brand new. You're like a little baby that has just hatched. Okay. So that's specifically the timeline for you. Is there anything that have you noticed or recognized any aspects of that lower abdomen or maybe that toxic masculine energy recently?
Yeah, I've been having like I found that there's been a lot needed for the sacral area. So it's interesting that you bring it up. Yeah. And definitely I feel like I'm almost jumping. I don't know if it's timelines or, you know, I'll wake up feeling fine and energized. And then I'm completely lethargic and I can't do anything. And I've got 5 little ones and it's just like, it's a lot. Like,
that's a lot.
Yeah. So I feel like I keep on jumping back and forth. And it was interesting. Just this morning, I saw something about father issues or something. And I was like, then I started reading it and I was like, oh, strange.
Wow.
Like, yeah. So, I guess, cool. You know, so then do I just keep on digging into that or feeling into that or
100%. So I think moving forward, now that you understand that it is some sort of father, divine masculine energy, just kind of putting the message out there to your spirit guides, higher self, and the universe to say, I'm ready to fully dive into this. Like I'm ready to fully heal this. Those articles, those conversations, those opportunities to heal are going to come up a lot more. And it's so funny because just as we're talking about this, the timeline is already getting shifted forward. So now it feels like doing that work, paying attention to that, making that I am ready statement is now shifting it forward to October, November timeline of this is when you're going to heal. So be aware that the more that you focus on this, allow your intuition to lead you. Okay. Don't, don't feel like you have to seek it out too much. It's like putting it out there and then listening and navigating that. So the timelines will shift. And so you might have like oh my goodness, I'm brand new, or much earlier than January. So keep that in mind. But one more thing I wanted to mention, the second that you said you had 5 little ones, it feels like they, especially maybe the youngest, is actually pushing you to heal this at this time. I want you to really pay attention to the divine feminine masculine dynamics within that family group moving forward after you've healed that aspect of yourself. You're going to actually notice very slight changes in the way that you parent and the way that you mother moving forward with your kids, because you've healed that ancestral trauma.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I'm already noticing slight little things in the last like 2 weeks.
Amazing.
And
wow.
Just stepping back and being like, oh, that's interesting, like how that played out.
Yeah. Good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Melanie, for coming on.
Thank you. I have full body chills. So thank you very much.
Yay. Awesome. All right. Just going to. All right, 1 second. All right. It's funny because the energy of the rain really helps clearing the energy of my body, I guess. I can feel it cleansing and clearing outside. And it's very easy for me to just move energy. All right, I'm so excited. Who's going to be up next? Sorry about the video, guys. I think that was just in our internal settings, and we are moving a lot of pieces around these days. So for the next coaching call, we're for sure going to figure out the video thing. All right. Yeah, I just got a ping. It's like, for whatever reason, today was supposed to be without video. I don't know why, but of course, everything happens to a reason. For a reason. Okay, next up, bringing in Tanya. Hello, Tanya. Come on in. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on and being vulnerable.
Yes.
So give me a little overview. What's going on in your life? What do you need to know? What's happening?
Just a lot of growth, a lot of healing. Kind of just open for whatever's of my highest good to know, and what's needed at this time always, right?
Yeah, of course. Best way to be. So let's take a look here, Tanya.
I'm so excited.
Okay. Ooh, yes, of course. Okay. This is pretty cool. So right away, right, even when I chose your name, I felt like super cosmic energy, and I felt like you really needed to hear a certain message. And the message is about your cosmic self, but it's a little bit deeper than that. And then it's really cool because the information that comes through your cosmic self is also information very applicable to the group, and then I think just to humanity. This is really cool. So Tanya, you have a very divine angelic presence. Like literally right when I connected to your frequency, your angel, your highest, I won't even say like parallel angelic self, came over to me, right, in my office, in my room, and wrapped this like beautiful healing blanket around me and basically started to heal me. And I'm like, great, thank you. This is amazing. And there's also a huge message that comes through with you at this time there's a lot of things. Okay. With you at this time in particular, but then also within a lot of starseeds at this time as well. Tanya, you, like many other individuals in this room, we have been dedicating our entire lives to giving to everyone else. And this is a time for you to start to step back from that role of service to others and start to actually receive for once. And I know that we've heard this a lot, but this is really, really coming through. And there's actually a much bigger picture here. So, okay, so how do I say this? Okay, so when I tuned into your angelic self, you are a female as an angel. You're much like taller and bigger than most angels that I see. Like definitely a higher realm angel. There's many different kind of levels of angelic beings. Like it almost feels like you're one step down from like an archangel. Now I want to tell you, Tanya, that you work a lot on the consciousness grid of planet Earth. Like you're up there a lot working on this golden grid around planet Earth. And you've been kind of holding space for the planet to shift. You've been holding space for starseeds to awaken. You are a very good example of a starseed that is pulling the double shift. You're here, you're on this planet, you're doing your human things, but you're also out there most of the time, which is going to create a lot of exhaustion, a lot of stress on your body. And not only when you're here, you know, you're doing your human things, but you tend to give and overgive a lot as a human being. And your spirit guides want you to know that the reason why you feel the need to overgive is because you feel like you're not doing enough pertaining to your mission. And they need to remind you that you are doing more than enough for your mission. You just don't remember the mission that you're on out there. And this is a very important message to the rest of the starseeds that are listening to this. Anytime you think that you're not doing your mission, you are. You've planted yourself on this planet. You volunteered to be here. Your soul is doing lots and lots of other things out there. So your guides really wanted you to know that validation is like you're doing way more than enough, to a point where your human is suffering a little bit energetically, and they do recognize the cords that you've cut and the healthy boundaries that you've started, especially in 2021, but that has to continue. Now, here's the really cool part I didn't think of, I guess. I haven't maybe channeled this before. I saw this beautiful image of this golden grid around planet Earth and all these angels holding space for this grid and activating it. There are so many human beings, there's so many starseeds on the planet that are waking up to their truth. And by waking up to their truth, they're choosing to do the work again. So in the past, it was like, for example, maybe we only had 100,000, souls up there holding space for the 7-8 billion. Nowadays, we have, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of souls that are going up and helping with the grid. And a lot of us individuals, starseeds who chose to be here and hold the grid down for many lifetimes, not just this lifetime, are all being called to step back on doing the double shift so that the kind of newly awakened souls can step up. And that's going to allot you a lot more freedom, a lot more energy, a lot more manifestation power, just a lot more abundance in a lot of ways, because before we spread our energy out, we saturate our energy between this realm and the higher realms. And now we can bring our energy in to one moment, be in both realms simultaneously and manifest from this quantum place where you're looping that fifth dimensional manifestation into the third dimension, and you're going around and around with that clear focus and concentration. So it's just really important that moving forward, you focus on you, and you also understand moving forward that you are doing and you have done such great work for this planet. I think the last thing I want to do, Tanya, for you specifically is get a name for your angelic being so that you can call upon her anytime, because it's like, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like you undermining your own power. And there's a lot of you feeling like you're not powerful enough. And, you know, sometimes I just wish I could project my third eye and show you truly just how magnificent you are. Let's just take a look and see if I can get a name. So 1 second. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So this name comes through, I want to say it's translated from light language. It's really, really beautiful. The name comes through as Lilidel, Lidele, Lilidel. Really beautiful. So you can call upon Lilidel anytime for your own healing, for your own strength, for your own validation, for your own information. She's going to come through. And I feel like that was a really important message for everyone else who's here as well, in just being a starseed, to say, hey, you can step back, you can take a break, you've done enough. Did that resonate, Tanya?
Yes. Yeah, that hit a really deep. I really needed that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes,
Beautiful.
thank you so much.
Good. You're welcome. And try not to be as hard on yourself, okay?
Yes. Oh, all right. Yes, thank you.
Awesome. So good. Okay, I'm just going to clear my energy. Even though working with angels, it's like you're clear, like there's no connection, attachment, you know, it's so amazing. Okay. All right, next up, Jenna. Come on in, Jenna. Hello, hello, hello. Hi.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello. So are you talking to Jenna?
I'm talking to you.
Okay, they kicked me out for a second. Hello. Thank you.
Hi, hi, welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, so I'm just open to being a mirror for the group, whatever needs to come through.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's take a look. Interesting. Okay. Oh, this is really interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay, I'm just going to say the first part of this, and then I'm going to try and go back in. This is, I don't know, it's really fascinating, and I'm glad that you can be a conduit, you know, for this information. Like, I'm glad that you have brought this up. This has to do with fear and ancient Atlantis. So Jenna, I don't know if you know this, you probably do, but you were a big player in ancient Atlantis and Lemuria, but Atlantis holds a lot of pain and a lot of trauma in your soul. There's a lot of soul trauma going on there. So this message is to the starseeds that volunteered originally to come to planet Earth during ancient Atlantis and Lemuria, and who basically got traumatized by coming here. This is brand new information. I've never channeled this before. Once again, it just fills in this gap that I didn't even know was there, but I think you guys are going to resonate with this. So fascinating, so fascinating. Okay. Back in ancient Atlantis, so Lemuria was like just this beautiful oasis, gorgeous, balanced place. It was utopia. Lemuria was utopia. there were certain individuals who wanted to break away from Lemuria because they were sick and tired of the traditions and the rules and the regulations that Lemuria had. So they broke away after quite a while of Lemuria existing to form their own civilization. They ended up forming Atlantis. Atlantis was like Lemuria at first, and then there was a lot of technological advancement, a lot of power, a lot of individuals who I think got blinded and corrupted by the power. And there was tons of just like battling and disharmony and like sneaky stuff going on behind the scenes in ancient Atlantis. And if you want to know more about the history, go check out my Atlantis Lemuria video on YouTube. Here's a piece that I never even thought about, and it comes through you, Jenna. And I don't know if you feel this way, because it feels like once again, you have this like fighter, warrior, rebel type of spirit. So basically back in ancient Atlantis, a big reason why Atlantis fell was because their technology got too intense, and the technology went to the wrong people. It got into the wrong hands, and there really wasn't any sort of moral checks and balances anymore in Atlantis. That was a huge reason why Atlantis fell, or a huge reason why potentially the Galactic Federation came through and, you know, sank Atlantis or destroyed it, because of the fear of how powerful they were getting and how out of control a lot of them were. Jenna, you were a part of like higher society in Atlantis. You were watching all of this kind of breakdown. You were watching the system break down, and you were freaking out, and you didn't know how to stop it in the position that you were in. Now, right now at this time, this is so crazy, but like makes so much sense. At this time, we have, and I'm just going to say it, we have the vaccine. Okay. We have COVID, right? We have all of these kind of weird aspects of society happening. And what's really interesting is in the depths of certain starseeds' souls, the starseeds right now who are a part of Atlantis during the fall of Atlantis, the V, okay, specifically is eliciting such a deep fear within us, because we see that, whether we have ever consciously thought of it or not, our souls are recognizing the V as an aspect of technology within society that has completely gotten out of hand. And for these, basically these Atlantean alumni, there is the deepest amount of fear within us when taking a look at this technology, not just even the technology, but really more specifically, the pushing and the prompting of every country in the world pushing one agenda, right? It feels immoral. It feels like a misuse of power. We are all recognizing this at a very deep level as one of the main issues with Atlantis before Atlantis fell. So then my question after that was two things. Okay. First thing, because this is a very similar situation as Atlantis, yes, the fear is being prompted. And now, oh my goodness, it's like I literally finally, for the first time in a year and a half, understand why starseeds are so fearful. And it feels like an unnecessary fear. Kind of like if I was super fearful of whatever, like the ocean, right? It's related to a past life where I had traumas with the ocean. There's been this like really like almost like a frustrated energy that I have with starseeds being so in fear around the V. And I get the agendas, I get the corruption, I understand what's happening in the dark side. But now I understand that a lot of that fear is actually related to the fall of Atlantis. And we're all getting triggered to be like, whoa, we have to put an end to this because it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get darker. We're going to die, basically. This whole society is going to collapse. As starseeds, we are here holding space for society to evolve, to awaken. But the last time these things started happening, especially volcanoes erupting, earthquakes, flooding, fires. The last time all of this went down was during the time of ancient Atlantis. And we're all being prompted to think that this is the end. And this goes against our very core, because the whole reason why we volunteered to be here for a mission was to help humanity grow and ascend, not completely collapse. So I understand now that this fear that starseeds have is not a fear of their own death. It's actually a fear of failing the mission of awakening humanity, because there's this ingrained aspect, there's this ingrained feeling of, if we don't stop this control and this corruption right now, it's going to get worse and the whole system is going to collapse. As Atlantean starseeds, we have not before seen the follow through of how do we get ourselves out of this freaking hole that we've dug ourselves into. And I have to let you know that we are here to see it through. So all of this fear coming up is actually a very deep-rooted, maybe not for every case, but for a lot of you, this deep-rooted fear of going back to ancient Atlantis. This fear is coming up, A, because we have to complete it. Then my follow-up question, because I'm just like so mind blown by this information, is, was this actually an agenda, a conscious choice by the dark side? Did they know that mandating this technology, okay, this V, did they know that that was going to prompt the fear from ancient Atlantis? That I really want to know that question. I'm going to follow up with that question, because I don't know if you guys are curious about it, but I'm so curious about it. And obviously we're not talking about like heads of state or, government officials. Like, we're talking about reptilian shapeshifters. They know all about karma. That is how they trap us here, is because of their knowledge of karma. Because of our lack of knowledge of karma, we are stuck here, Okay, cool. I'm sorry. I get so pumped up with new information. Wow. Okay, cool. 1 second. Interesting. Wow. So the short answer is yes, of course they knew. Yes, of course they knew. I literally got thrown back, totally related to the video that I did yesterday. I got thrown back to the ancient Egyptian time. This is so crazy. Okay. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, oh my God, please watch it. Was it yesterday? The day before? I don't know. Monday's video. Basically, I got thrown back in ancient Egypt to the time when reptilians were pushed underground, and they started working with technology to shield their appearance to blend in with human beings so that they can still control us. Anyone who knew who they really were killed off. Like, any human being who found out that they were actually reptilian were killed on the spot instantly. So they have always controlled humanity, starseeds, humans, through technology. This is no different. And part of their plan is to elicit the deep amounts of fear, oh my God, to push us, this is crazy, to push us into subconsciously creating the timeline or the reality where we create the end, because at a subconscious level, we believe that it's the end because the last time that this went on, and it's been going on for many times, but the very last time this happened was ancient Atlantis. We all feel that pull and that connection again in this huge cycle to ancient Atlantis. And this is bringing up all of that fear. They're playing with that, and they're actually playing with it, not for just fear, but for the prompting of starseeds, of powerful beings creating the end times, because that's all we know based on the last time we experienced this. Hopefully that makes sense. I feel like I had another question about this. I'm just going to see if there's anything else that needs to be said. And anything for you in particular, Jenna. 1 second. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. This was my other question. So how do we win? Like, right? Like, how do we win? If cool, this is what they're doing. And in ancient Atlantis, what happened was, especially for you, Jenna, you were a part of the government system. Like, you were a high-ranking individual, Atlantean, and you saw the corruption. You tried to tell everyone in your life about the corruption, and no one would listen to you. You saw it for what it was, and no one would listen. And I don't think that that's the way to do it. Look at the Q movement. Just because you're shoving it in people's faces doesn't mean people are going to listen, or you're actually shoving the right information, right? So it's a very, contentious time. Oh my goodness. Okay, how do we win? I want to know. I think we all want to know. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. So the answer that came through here is just knowing the truth will help us win, because all of a sudden we're not creating that timeline at a subconscious level. We actually understand why we have this fear. Already the frustration that I had around other starseeds completely gone. For me anyway, totally neutralized. That allows me to help other people in a better way, because I don't have that frustration of, why are you so in fear? Like, it doesn't make sense. Now I understand why. That energy is neutralized for me. So then my question, okay, to my own spirit guides was, cool. So, I'll make a video after this and I'll relay all of this information because it's really important for the public. I'll relay this information in a video, but great, it reaches 20,000 people, it reaches 30,000 people, which is great. That's a lot of people, but like, we're talking about millions of starseeds all around the world who are so in fear. Like, how do we reach those people? And so I asked my spirit guides that. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I can do a video, but like, that's only gonna reach a certain amount. And they said, you're thinking about this too linearly. They said, what about quantum uploading? And I'm like, oh, I totally forgot about that. So what I'm gonna do after this video, I'm gonna take some time today and I'm going to meditate. I'm going to basically upload this information to the grid, to the consciousness grid, and I'm going to disseminate it. If you guys can disseminate it too, maybe tonight, right before bed, maybe in the morning, maybe next time you meditate, maybe right after this video, you don't have to know the words of the information because it is a little bit convoluted. You just have to feel that frequency in your heart space and give that to the other starseeds around the planet. Okay, maybe you want to direct that information, that frequency, that liberation through a portal that you know of, maybe a portal that you're aware of, maybe a portal you've been to before, maybe a portal on your own property. Okay, but please help me disseminate this information so we can get starseeds understanding why they have fear, why they feel like fighting, why they feel like this is going to be the end, not at a personal level, at a collective level. Once again, this is not the end. We are following this Atlantean trauma through to a much brighter side than what we had in ancient Atlantis. Wow. Okay, Jenna, thank you so much for being a conduit. Are you aware of your Atlantean roots?
Not at all, but all of that makes so much sense.
Okay, good. I'm so glad. Wow. Like, yeah, right away, even with your name, it was this Atlantean presence. So thank you so much for being here and for allowing that information to come through for the group and for humanity. Like, that this is really intense.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. So good. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to finish with that, but I also want to just see if there's like a general message for the group. That was pretty intense. but let's see if there's anything else that you guys need to know at this time. And I hope that that made sense, and I hope it really resonated with you as much as it resonated with me. But once again, it's interesting, like yesterday's video, was not expecting it to come out. It filled in so many gaps for people. The information in today's video, did not expect that to come out, but it fills in so many gaps. The information that I was not allowed to receive in previous years, I am allowed to receive, which really prompts and brings up other questions that I have in general, that I wasn't able to get into before. So very fascinating. I'm going to try and push the boundaries a little bit more with the public, but let's just see what else you guys need to know at this time, and then we'll close. So 1 second. Yeah. Okay, so here's the message. Ultimately, the message is about healthy boundaries. Okay, now I'll explain the visual or the image that I got into my mind. It's a metaphorical image for the group. So the metaphorical image is the planet. Imagine the entire planet, and imagine, if you could imagine the planet's surface being like water, I want you to imagine drops, like droplets on the planet, and the reverberation of those droplets out. Basically, right now, there was a word that was used, turmoil. Anyone that is in any sort of turmoil is rippling and perpetuating out this dark frequency to the rest of the planet. So basically, this other image that I got is this wave, kind of like this smoke creeping into our environments, no matter where you are in the world, this wave of this dark energy hitting all of us from all angles, pretty much all the time right now, because every aspect of this planet, of this entire experiment, is in this turmoil energy. And so the most important thing is to cocoon yourself, all right? Put yourself into an egg, even though it's important to break through that egg as well. But it's important to know your rightful protections. And we really need to be working with protection mechanisms at this time on this planet, because because we're getting hit from darkness from all sides. So protecting your energy, cutting your cords with anyone else in your life who is not serving you or serving your highest interest is really, really important. And I also want to mention too, Lauren and I were talking right before this video about basically our animals getting very worked up and overwhelmed. I don't know if your pets at home have been extra anxious, extra crazy, extra worked up in the past 3 days or /3 weeks, but they've been like Abby, like our little dog, has been on edge. And I've never seen the hair on the back of her on the back of her stand up like it has before. She's just barking at nothing, and she is so flustered and so overwhelmed. And a big part of that is these energetic low vibrational waves that are hitting us here in the middle of, buttfuck nowhere, Canada. And so you could only imagine the energy that's hitting you from all sides if you live in a city. and hitting your animals. So don't just protect yourself and put yourself into a bubble and your partner and your kids, but please put your animals into bubbles as well. Put your house into a bubble, and just really protect that. And it's kind of like if you imagine like a starship out there, and the starship has a protection layer around it, and then another starship comes by and starts shooting at the starship, that bubble of protection is great, but it only has so much strength. The more that this bubble of protection gets hit with low vibrational frequencies, the weaker and weaker that bubble of protection becomes, which means that these days we should be bubbling almost every week, not just once, in a while, right? So that's kind of the most important thing right now is healthy boundaries and protection are so key at this time, and they will continue to be key moving into the new year. All right. As always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a creator, an awakener. Thank you for being open-minded. Thank you for having patience with these Zoom things. And I am so not technologically, advanced in that way. And I just really, really appreciate you guys. So this will be up on YouTube if you didn't catch all of it. So until next time. And for the creators, a brand new how-to video is dropping. So check out the community section for the brand new how-to videos creators. All right. Bye, everyone. I'll see you all in the fifth dimension.